Good evening, everybody. This is my Sunday's meal, Hearty Beef Stew. Here you'll see the ingredients that I will incorporate into this meal. I have cilantro, I have potatoes. They are in water so they don't brown. I have my boneless short rib cut up, 1 onion, and carrots, bell pepper, and celery diced. Also, these are my seasonings: thyme, black pepper, salt, garlic salt, machuzi mix, ground sage, and basil. Along with that, we're going to use a Dutch oven along with EVOO to get started. Here we go. Now I'm pouring in a little EVOO so we can start cooking the meat. Turning it on high till the EVOO warms up. That might not be a good thing for some people if you're not going to be close to your stove. Here you'll see that the meat is browning and you can hear it sizzling, y'all. That is a good thing. Also, I had this meat marinating overnight, so the meat is very tender. Now we're going to put as you can see, it is cooking. You can see the bubbling at the bottom, the roux that it's creating. And now I'm going to add in my onion, my 1 chopped onion. It's a medium onion too. Yes, I got it all. Now just stir that around, incorporate that with the meat and the roux that's on the bottom. And we're going to let that sweat out for a bit. And I'm going to go ahead and place the top back on it. And give this about, I don't know, just until they're very translucent or very soft to your liking. I like my onions soft, so I let it cook for a while. Now this is the cilantro washed and chopped up, and I put that in. Excuse me for my camera being upside down. Thank God this is a cooking video, because you can still see exactly what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to work the camera. I didn't know that it doesn't rotate when I rotate, but here we go. So we just incorporate the cilantro into the meal, and we're going to let it sweat out and get it flavor incorporate into the meat and the onions. There go the lid. And that went for about good 20, maybe 15 minutes. Now I have, as you can still see upside down, Lord Crystal, my bell pepper, carrots, and celery. This is what I have, so that's what I was using for the vegetables. Usually I use I don't use bell pepper, but I said, I want a little more meaty into it. I don't want to call it meaty, but heartiness. So, and you go ahead, look at that color. We're going to go ahead and cover it up and give it a little bit of time. Now we're going to incorporate our seasonings. This is my thyme. I love thyme, you guys. If I had it, you will see me put in the fresh poultry herbs that they have in the store, and it comes with sage, rosemary, and thyme inside of it. Oh, I just love the smell of it. But this will do as well. There's my basil. And you put whatever flavors that you like, but in this house, this is how we do it. Yes. Garlic salt. Be careful because it is salty. And we're going to add this ground sage. I wish I had just dry sage, but it's ground. Hey, it still works. And just incorporate all those flavors inside. So stir it up very good. Look at the color. Oh, it is so beautiful. I just love making this meal. And it's a rainy day here, so oh, it's gonna be really nice. All right, now let's go ahead and you're gonna put the lid on this and let it simmer for about maybe 15 more minutes. Just keep a check on it. Now I'm showing you my potatoes. They are in water, like I said before. Put your potatoes in water so they don't brown, because they will start browning on you quickly. I drain it before I get ready to use it, and I place inside the pot. As well, I'm going to put some salt inside on top of those potatoes, but it's all going to get incorporated. And remember, you don't need a lot of salt unless that's just your flavor, but I didn't want it salty, so I just add a good 2 or 3 dashes. And I'm already using I think it's 33% less sodium, so I really like that salt because it's not as salty as the original salt. So here we're just incorporating the potatoes in with the rest of the mixture of the stew. And look at those seasonings, you guys. Oh, and it's smelling oh hell of a good. Let's put the lid on. Okay, well, we're gonna check the temperatures on medium, so that's pretty good because you don't want it to cook too fast, and I sure don't need it to cook slow. Now what I'm doing is just stirring it, checking it. I need to check my potatoes because I don't want mashed potatoes, but I do want them when you bite through it, it's just soft. So it gives you nice chunk, and as you can see there, they're not even breaking, so it is not ready. I will probably go another 5 to 9, 10 minutes. But the potatoes nor the carrots are breaking up. That tells me it is not done. All right, let's put the lid back on for that 5 to 10 minutes. And this is my beef broth that I choose to use into my beef stew. It's the 100% Swanson, 50% less sodium, natural broth, beef broth. I like this because my kids can eat this meal as well due to the less ingredients it has in it, which it doesn't include egg or dairy. It's a 32 ounce, and we're going to go ahead and pour all of that inside our pot. I wish y'all could smell it. All right, now we're just going to stir it a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and let that simmer some, because as you can see in a few minutes, let's see, a few seconds, I think I'm just right now just stirring it in, just getting everything from the sides of the pot, and we're going to put the lid on it for a good, I guess, another 10 minutes. And I want to add a little black pepper. Not a lot because I don't like spices, but my family does. I just want to give it just a hot kick. So that's it. A pinch of pepper. You do as you like in your house, and I'm going to do as I like here. Stir that around and put the lid back on it for those 10 minutes. This is the machuzi mix. It is a more beefy taste. It's like beef cubes, pretty much. But my husband is from Nairobi, Kenya. So my mother-in-law brought this over for me. my mother-in-law brought this over from me when she came to visit. And as you see, it'll focus in and say Nairobi, Kenya. And it is a thickening agent, as it says, more thickening powder. So it can act as your cornstarch, depending how you like your stew. Because this stew to me is a little thin. It's a little watery. But however you like it. Now this stuff tastes great, you guys. Now the more you add, the thicker the stew. So depending on the size of your pot is how much you want to add, and depending on the taste of your roux or your gravy is what you will add. So if you like thick gravy, then you're going to add a couple of teaspoons of this. If you like thin, maybe very little to even not none. But that beefy flavor, I mean, it gives you such a great flavor. And as you can see here, the potatoes are breaking up. They're not like mashed potatoes. They're a good, dense, nice, hearty bite. So I'm just stirring it around, checking everything out. And now, what we gonna do? We're gonna let it simmer a little bit. Okay. And now I'm gonna go ahead, trying to work with one hand, y'all, and add my machuzi mix. And that was almost a tablespoon. So I can say I add a good tablespoon and a half, almost 2. And I think here I will show you, you have to incorporate it. You just don't want it to sit there on top. So just stir it in and incorporate it as good as you can. Mix it in with the stew as good as you can. Because you don't want nobody biting into chunks of seasoning. That's no good. So we want to just stir it in there where it will go ahead and melt in. As you can see, it's a watery contact. And I want mine a little thicker. And you will see that in a few minutes. So for this, I will let it simmer for a good another, I guess, 10 to 15 minutes. On medium, that's fine. You can even look at it and see that it has thickening some. Oh yes, honey. The meat is very tender. Look at those veggies. And look at the sauce itself. Potatoes are still not mashed potatoes, but they are right on point. You don't want to cook this anymore because everything will then start to get mushy and it will start to be mash stew instead of beef stew. And you see how nice that gravy is? That's from that machuzi mix, and it makes the best beef flavor. And right now, just let it finish simmering, and I'm turning off the stove. And right next to that was my rice. I'm working with one hand, so I went on and placed a good 2 servings of rice inside of this bowl. And now it's time to serve it up for my man. My hubby, y'all. He likes rice. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you have potatoes and rice. Yes, my husband loves rice. And he will eat this on top of rice. And ain't nothing wrong with it. You do how you do, and we'll do how we do. Ooh, that looks so good. I wish y'all could smell it. And again, the picture is upside down, but you guys get the gist of what I am trying to do. Yes, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a blessed Sunday.